Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new episode of Last Cloudia. Today we're going to be talking about a character who will be our third character with a third form. And then, of course, at the end of the video, I'm going to go over a prediction I have for the future for what I consider the next big update. So stay tuned for that as well. So let's check out Alice. That's right, just plain Alice. Now you might find it weird that they didn't have any special name for her, but this actually makes sense per story mode. She's basically finally her own self. I'm not going to go into the whole story to spoil it, so just play the game if you want to kind of get a better understanding or some better perspective. But it makes sense that they just called her Alice. Now, looking at her stats, she's got good HP at over 8,000, good strength, defense, and mind stat over 1,000. So that's always a good thing to see. She does come with 314 MP, so she does have the basic amount that she would need to do some of her abilities that we'll be going over pretty soon. As far as attributes, she's pretty strong against light and especially dark, which is really convenient. She's stunned, or I'm sorry, she's nailed to poison and curse, which is a really good thing to have immunity to, with curse specifically. And then we have resistance to blind. Oh, and she's also immune to illness as well. So she's really got a decent package. She's only weak to blind, which is okay. You can kind of deal with that. But overall, decent resistances, I will say. Now, looking at her skills, just notice she is a she's a light-based attacker. So just like her original form was also light-based. So similar scenario. And then of course her special, which is what she's going to be heavily leaning towards. Basically, she says a powerful light attack hits everybody, damage cap of 5,000, and then gives the unit a minus 50% strength debuff. So she debuffs herself after using a special. Now, I at first thought this was a typo, but maybe that's correct. Maybe after she uses all that energy, it kind of saps it out of her, so that's why she won't be as strong afterward, is the assumption here. Unless I'm just misunderstanding the wording. But you want to get as much damage as possible, and there are many ways to do it. Taking a look at her traits. So we have Ether Reactor. So when defeating an enemy, physical attack, damage cap plus 500, and special damage plus 5%. The maximum will be 5k for the damage cap. And then the fill rate doesn't reset each wave. I'm sorry. Yeah, it says fill rate doesn't reset. So basically, if you're doing multi-waves, the more kills you get, the more it'll go up and it won't go down at all, which is pretty good. When using a special, boost special power based on how many fewer enemies there are. So max damage is 60% and max cap is 6,000. So for bosses, this is especially important since there's typically only going to be one, with a few exceptions. But either way, pretty good that she can still hit everybody, still deal decent damage. So we'll just see in how good she is in testing. Once we get, well, I'm probably not going to get her because I've already tried. But you know, for anyone that has her, I'm sure that there are shorts out there showing her destroying bosses, which I believe was what she's going to be. So her second trait, Ether Wing, we have when two of either sword, machine, or spear are equipped, physical attack damage plus 30%, damage cap 3,000, physical damage taken minus 25%, and when attacked, chance to cut physical damage taken effect by 0.5%, but it resets each wave. So okay, I don't really have much of a strong opinion about it. It is interesting that they added spear as a usable equipment if you want to go that route. I'm sure you can do some interesting things. My understanding is the only reason that you would want to use a spear on her is if you're trying to up her defense, because that's kind of what spear users do. So that could be part of the package. Kind of just depends on how you want to build her. So taking a look at some of her magic and skills, we have three of them that are going to be kind of important. We have Ether Full Release. So use all of your MP to greatly restore the unit's HP, fully restore their SCT. So the other forms of Alice also has this. This is something that I do use for the most part when I need to refill. Very convenient to have. Really, really good. So you don't need honey elixir. She has it naturally in her own way. We have Active Slayer mode, which we've also seen before. So basically you get a temporary recovery speed of 50% SCT, skills and specials, and of HP plus 35% damage. So basically you use HP to deal more damage. So that's good to have. You're going to want to do that before you do your special. And you have Full Ether Release Code Beta. This is the new one. So it consumes all MP to restore 100% of units special gauge once per quest, excludes arena. Now, you might say that this will clash with full ether release because that means you have to, do one and then get your MP back and do the other. Well, you can kind of bypass some of that by using somebody else to cast Honey Elixir on her, and then she can just cast, the code beta and it automatically kind of get where she needs to be. So you don't necessarily have to go out of your way to do both of these spells. Just have someone else do the Honey Elixir on her, and then she can use this, which will still consume all of her MP, and then she'll be good to go. Alright, so continuing on, she has Fighting Spirit 5, Resolve up 4, Crit 2, Advancing Vitals, and Proud Force. I like seeing my crit stuff, so that's good to have. We have Royal Armor. She has Anti-Fizz Armor, which we've seen before. Auto Protect, Auto Haste, which is very important right here. Holy Armor, which I forgot what it does. Oh, so basically get a Holy Wall effect, okay. Patience 2, Awaken, Light Mega Drive, so some damage cap. Light Crit Raise, free crits, why not? Or free crit bonus. Pose of Glory, get some SCT back. We got Booster, which I think is specifically new for her. Just boost movement speed, probably a +1 or something. We have True Dual Will, which makes sense. Her summer version has this as well, so keeping up with the trends. And she's going to be very special based, so you absolutely want this to work properly. We get Sword Mega Boost, which is basically more damage cap and more damage. Magic Machine Mega Boost, again, more damage cap, so that's good to see. So basically, if you want to go for the most damage, you want to give her a sword and a machine. Like I said, you only want to do a spear if you're going more for defense, but I think the sword and machine really is going to be the way to go if you're trying to maximize damage. Continuing on, she has Ultimate Boost 3, which is very important to have and pretty rare to get. This only came out of a collab, so, her getting it naturally is pretty good. We have Charge Special. I think the first form has it, but her swimsuit version does not have this. Boss Wave Star Special Gauge plus 25%. So again, she's a special base unit, so you want to be able to make sure you get your special charge as fast as possible if you're not, using any of the other strats to get it faster. We also have Giant Killing 2. Again, she's going to be a boss killer. That's kind of what she's there for the most part. We have Mercury Veil. So activate a barrier once every 30 seconds to nullify the status on it. It's okay. Activate combat program. So battle start, you get brave, speed, and crit, and it stays on there basically until she dies. So this keeps you from having to cast like fast brave, fast crit, stuff like that. She automatically has it in the beginning, so that's going to save you a lot of SC. You just have to keep her alive. Auto Slayer mode. Again, she automatically gets Slayer mode, so all those boosts she'll get in the beginning. Overboost. So when using special, use all skill stocks to boost damage and damage cap. When at least 9 stocks are used, max damage of 135% and damage cap 13,500. This is where all that damage is going to come from. So, but the fact that you're going to be using a spell to use up all of your MP to get to her special makes this easy to pull off, and it's going to really up your chance of dealing some real good damage. Then, of course, we have Blade Reconstruction. Duration of strength debuffs on a unit minus 50%. Excludes some debuffs. When recovering from strength debuff, give a strength plus 35% buff to the unit. So if she recovers, she'll get stronger. Wing Barrier Reboot. When unit is revived, fully restore the trait Ether Wings, cut physical damage taken effect. So she restores one of her passives when this happens. So that's going to be pretty much it for her. So overall, in my opinion, she's a boss killer, and I consider her a time trial character. Her damage potential with her special is going to be really, really strong, and probably stronger than anyone else in the game in terms of like special damage. Alice has always been a specialist. She's a very special character, and so you're going to want to lean heavily into that. She's not going to be super impressive probably with her skills. Like, they can do stuff, but that's not really what she's there for. She's really there just to do bosses. So if you're one of the people that likes to participate in the time trials for ranking, I think this is going to be one of the best units you can use, if not the best, to help you to deal lots of damage really quick to a boss. So I think it's going to be necessary. Also, there are arcs that you can use to make her better. My recommendation is going to be the UR arc Eldrovina, the original one. I believe, well, let's just go to it. I'll show you what it is. So here's the arc I was talking about. This is Imperial Eldravina. So what this does is special damage plus 120%. So this will boost your damage by a lot. Then you can skip some of the middle part, but then at the very bottom it says special damage limit plus 5,000. I never noticed that it says special damage limit, but I think it means special damage cap plus 5,000. But either way, so you're looking at a lot more damage specifically for specials. This is the arc to do it with. So if you want to maximize the potential amount of damage you can do, this is where you do it. So for me, this arc is going to be best in slot. And there are probably some other arcs that you can use if you don't have the UR, but this is definitely, if I were to get her, this is what I would use for her. But overall, I think she's going to be a fun unit. Again, specifically for bosses, especially for time trials. Probably going to be the toppest tier character when it comes to time trials. But that's mainly, you're probably not going to use her for any normal, regular combat or regular like story or anything, unless you're just having fun, which is fine. I mean, Alice is a cool character in general. I personally like the swimsuit version the best, but that's just my personal opinion. But I think this character right here is going to be really, really good for those very specific things. I don't know about PvP. I kind of have my doubts if she'll be effective there. I don't think that she's meant to be good in PvP, which is fine. But yeah, overall, I think she's a decent character. Alright, so now we have White Monolith. So for those of you who've played the story, you might have a better idea what this is about. But the trait, light physical attack damage plus 20%. Whenever taking a thunder attack, gradually cut magic attacks damage taken minus or max of 20% or minus 20%. Resets each wave, and during counter, chance to stun. So it's okay. It's okay. That's all I can really say about that trait. It doesn't really impress me. I just think it's all right. The things that you can learn. So we have counter. We have Fast Magic Barrier. We have Light Drive, which right there is going to be my favorite thing to learn. We have Empty Brave. So when MP is 20 or less, strength plus 15%. For 3SC, this is actually pretty good. This, to me, is more of a PvP skill than anything else. But you can use it in regular content. So if you have someone that's using Sharp Eyes and you happen to get their MP down, this right here will still allow you to get a boost in your strength. So this is actually pretty good. So I think Light Drive and Empty Brave are definitely some highlights here. You also have Machine High Boost, which is good to have. And you have Life Fort. Life Fort is boost defense based on how little HP is left, max of 50%. So this will be something that you're going to use for your tank. And so overall, I actually really, really like the skills you can learn here. I think that the last four, Light Drive, Empty Brave, Machine High Boost, and Life Fort, I think these are all strong abilities. So this is really good, specifically for the things you can learn. As far as the Ether Award, we have Enigma Cube. Now, we have some interesting stats here. 66 MP, 22 defense, 44 mind. Continuous magic barrier effect. This is an accessory. It gives you a plus 10 to light and a resistance to curse. So overall, I think this is decent for an accessory. You get some decent stats, specifically MP if you're really trying to boost the MP amount for whatever character you're using for. Getting resistance to curse is really nice. Overall, it's okay. I'm not going to say this is like super good, but I think it's decent. I think it's worth it. But overall, honestly, the skills to me are the best thing about this arc. The trait is okay, but no, like those last four are super strong, and I love those. I would 100% be using all four of those for certain characters. Obviously, not all four at the same time, but I would definitely use them for a specific character, which is really, really nice. So yeah, overall, fantastic arc. And we're going to also talk about the paid gear. So we're going to start with the Epiphany Blade Astrea. So this is a sword of the light attribute, strength to 256, defense and mind plus 19, light attack damage plus 10%, light attack damage cap 1500, crit rate plus 5%. Overall, I like the sword. The strength number is pretty good, but that's not really what sells it for me. What sells it for me is the crit rate plus 5%. That's pretty good, especially I like crit builds. So anytime you can give me an additional crit rate, I'll take it. But you know, the damage up plus 1500 is nice as well, especially since she's going to be dual wielding. It's going to be a lot of extra damage. And then of course that light damage plus 10% is going to help her to deal more damage when she's doing her special. So overall, I think this weapon is pretty strong. Now, as far as the accessory, her second item, this is the Lightwing Pack Rees. So we have Strength 71, Defense 43, Mind 57. We're looking at Skill 1 Damage Cap 2000, Chance for specials to deal critical damage. It also gives you a plus 10 resistance to thunder, which I believe helps with her weakness. I think she was weak to thunder. I don't remember. Maybe she wasn't. Either way, more resistance is good. Overall, I think this is a decent accessory. However, I'm not super sold on this. I mean, getting your plus 2000 to skill 1 is pretty good. I'm assuming this is going to be similar to one of the other Alices where they have like a skill that'll basically close the gap and hit somebody. So being able to start off with your S1 dealing some good damage is not bad. So it's okay. And especially to be able to do crit damage. Again, I like my crit damage, so I'm okay with it. But this accessory doesn't really get me excited, unfortunately. Which is why I'm going to say the easiest choice if you're just wanting to pick one weapon or one item is going to be definitely the weapon. I think this weapon is really just too good. This weapon's too good to pass up. I mean, getting crit percentage, getting 1500 damage cap, and raising her light attack damage so you can try to reach cap, those are all important things to have for her. I just think that this is just so much better without like miles above the accessory, 100%. So I did mention that I do have a prediction. Now, those of you in the guild chat probably saw this, but I'm going to go ahead and just say it here while I'm recording too. So we're in the middle, or pretty much halfway done with the anniversary. So what I'm thinking is going to happen is we're probably going to have a collab after this. So that'll be kind of a way to kind of hype up the game after the anniversary is done, just to kind of get new players in, all that good stuff. So we might be due for one. Now here's continuing on with this opinion or prediction of mine. I think we're going to get a video game collab. Now the reason I say that is because this last Cloudia has a habit of going back and forth between video games and anime. So our last new collab was an anime collab, being Attack on Titan. Now, the Slime collab was a rerun, so as far as I'm concerned, reruns don't count. We're just talking about their new collabs they're going to be pushing out. So since they've already done a new anime one, it's time for a video game. But then the question becomes, well, what video game would they even do? Well, I have a theory. So, there's a certain game out there that I'm highly familiar with that I think personally will be done. And again, this is me just predicting. I can't say for sure this is true, but I think that Chrono Cross is going to be the next collab, and I'm going to tell you why. So for those who don't know, Chrono Cross is an RPG that was released in the late 90s. I think it was 1999. I might be a little bit off on that. Basically, it was a somewhat sequel to the original Chrono Trigger. Now, the reason I think this is going to be next is because they just released the remastered version of Chrono Cross about a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago. So this is a brand new thing, a brand new re-release, and this is going to be the perfect time for them to jump on that bandwagon since Chrono Cross is very popular. Now you might think, but would they allow Last Cloud to do a collab? Of course they will. A few weeks ago, there's another mobile game out there. I've never played it, but it's called Another Eden. They did a Chrono Cross collab. So they're definitely open to doing collaborations, and I don't see why they wouldn't be able to partner with Atis to do a collab. So if that is true, which is my prediction, that's going to make me personally super hyped because that's honestly one of my favorite RPGs of all time. Not number one, but pretty close. And as far as video game soundtracks, it is, in my opinion, the best video game soundtrack of all time. And when it comes to video game collabs, Last Cloudia goes all out, music and all. And video game collabs are usually the best collabs to have. Miles better than any anime collab you can get. So that's my prediction. I think it's going to be video game collab. It's going to be Chrono Cross. And I'm hoping that's true. And like I said, with what patterns I've seen, I think we have a high possibility of this. Now, I'm not going to try to say who they might put in there as our playable characters. They have over 40 characters in the game, so it would be tough to narrow it down. I mean, I would assume Surge would be there since he's the main protagonist. And then possibly Lynx as a Beast character, maybe Kid. And if it ends up being Kid as one of the characters, she's going to basically be a rogue. She's going to be like Chrome, able to steal, because in the Chrono Cross game, Kid is there for pilfering. She actually steals. So we could potentially have a new Chrome come out in video game and from a video game collab. So that's my theory. I might be wrong as far as like the characters, because again, they have a large roster, but I think that it would be really, really cool and really interesting. So those are my thoughts. If you have any extra feedback on that or any other ideas from what I said, feel free to put it in the comments. I'm anxious to see your opinion on this and what you think could come from it. But until next time, be kind and grind. Later.